everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm here with Rachel again. Yay! We got a question in one of our last videos that we did together. This was by Val and Britt. She says, or they say, I really want to know your opinions on how the Disney princesses are being portrayed in Wreck-It Ralph 2. Do you think it's in character, out of character? Thoughts on Disney actually having all the princesses knowing of each other in an official Disney movie, something Disney used to be against? Do you think Disney should continue this trend and possibly even create a princess movie? I love you both. Thank you, Britt and Val and Britt. So I guess let Rachel take the floor here. Rachel, thoughts and feelings.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you, Jennifer, for having me again on your channel. I had so much fun with our last two videos, and your followers are so kind and so nice. I just want to say very quickly how grateful I am for the positive response, and so many people said it was great to see Rachel, and so many positive comments about my daughter Charlotte and what she had to say about the Disney princesses. So I just wanted to say a quick thank you for that. But yes, Wreck-It Ralph 2, break the internet, talk about that. I haven't seen this much buzz around a Disney movie in so long, and I think that the Disney princesses together have so much to do with that. So for me, it's just amazing to see these wonderful group of princesses that we love so much, to have them all together. That's not just in merchandise, but actually in a storyline together. So it was quite overwhelming. I remember when I first saw the trailer, it was like, is this for real? So it was just so exciting. So what did you want to talk about with this, Jennifer? Just what we thought about our characters, or what we just think in general about? Or what do you think?
Oh wait, I'm sorry, Ariana, my daughter walking.
So for me, seeing all the princesses together was so exciting. It kind of reminded me of being in character at a dining experience when you're backstage and all the princesses are kind of hanging out together. Did you feel the same way?
I did, and I'm actually going to put a picture up on the screen. This was one of the latest pictures that was released, and it's showing all of the princesses wearing loungewear clothes, hanging out together. And I think Rachel and I had kind of emailed a little bit before, because, you know, just to kind of like look at the different screenshots of the princesses in the movie. But it does. This image reminds me so much of Backstage, and I think I had written this in an email, but I'll share it with everybody. So when I was performing in Morocco backstage after the shift had ended, and I was still in full makeup, full wig, everything, princessed out. But we used to change, or at least I did. I used to change out of my costume, and I would put my street clothes on, like my jeans and my shirt, just to kind of be ready so that I could get out of costume as fast as possible once we got back to the cosmetology room, because we always had to return our wigs at the end of the night. And I remember the other girls doing it too, like Cinderella. I remember seeing other girls dressed in their street clothes, but still had full makeup.
Yes.
And so when I saw this shot of the princesses all together, I was like, oh, that's like when we were getting ready to go home and we still had our wig and makeup on.
Absolutely. It's like Backstage, or I did that as well. I mean, even I'm thinking of the shot in the clip where it's Cinderella, she's doing Pocahontas's hair. I just thought that was adorable.
Well, did you ever, like, did you always hairspray your own hair backstage, or did you have another girl, like another princess character, help you with your hair?
No, with Snow White, because it's so short, there wasn't a lot to really fix or do or keep. You know, Jasmine and Snow White are obviously completely very different in how they're styling their hair. Jasmine has so much. But with Snow White, I think I would always kind of adjust the bangs because, well, the wig's been changed now, but there was like, I don't know, there's some funky stuff going on with her bangs sometimes, and I kind of fixed them the way I liked them, even if cosmetology did it different. But I never really had to spray my hair too much. I did it before I went out on set, and then I didn't touch it the rest of the day. But so speaking of our individual characters, I'll just touch on Snow White. It was so amazing to see her after all these years. I think when you see all of them together, it's not as shocking to see maybe Elsa, Anna, you know, Rapunzel, you know, so many people who already have this digital upgrade. But when you see the characters who were a different type of animation, Snow White, Cinderella, and Sleeping Beauty, and, you know, the original girls, it was so neat to see this upgraded version. And then I realized, did you watch the Sophia the First series? Does Ariana like that?
Yes, and I saw the Princess Jasmine
Right.
in Sophia the First. And let me just say, I gotta say this, because Princess Jasmine, you know, my girl. So I loved her in Sophia the 1st. Didn't like how they animated her in the Wreck-It Ralph movie. I'm not happy with that look. I'm okay with it because, okay, it's Princess Jasmine. How am I going to hate? But I like how they did her in Sophia the First. So I'll show a screenshot of how she looks in Sophia the First, and I'll show you a screenshot of how she looks in the Wreck-It Ralph movie. And I much prefer how they digitized her in Sophia the First versus Wreck-It Ralph. Have you seen the difference?
So that is why I brought up the Sophia the First series, because, you know, it was so exciting to see Snow White and, like I said, these girls that we haven't seen in so long. But then that's what made me think about it. I'm like, no, actually, we have seen them in a digital upgrade. And I do prefer the Snow White as well in the Sophia the First than I do in the Wreck-It Ralph. The same thing with Cinderella. I actually really do like Sleeping Beauty and Princess Aurora and Wreck-It Ralph. I think she just looks fantastic. So I do kind of prefer, and I agree with Princess Jasmine as well. Unfortunately, in the Wreck-It Ralph, I think she kind of looks a little masculine in the facial features, and I feel so bad saying that, but I do prefer her in the Sophia the First series as well.
Well, I feel like the Sophia the First captured her essence better. Like even the nose. Like the nose in Wreck-It Ralph is kind of pointy and really sharp in a way that and the only way I can reconcile it is that Wreck-It Ralph has a certain aesthetic and look to their people, and it's almost kind of like they all kind of have the same mold.
Right. I think what you said is the key to everything, where the princess that I'm most disappointed in is Cinderella. I'm sorry, I can't get past her ears. They just, like, that's all I can see when I see her and Wreck-It Ralph. But that's what I think as well. It's like, this is the aesthetic that Wreck-It Ralph characters are. So a lot of people have so many comments about the princesses and what they're supposed to look like and what they like and what they don't like. But keep in mind, they're also coming into their story and their world. So they have to fit the aesthetic of their other characters as well. So even though I prefer Snow White and Sophia the First, perhaps she would not look right in the Wreck-It Ralph 2, if it were so if that makes sense. But I think you hit the nail on the head with that one being the aesthetic of the movie. So
again, also look at Cinderella in Sophia the First. I love how Cinderella looks in Sophia the First.
She's regal and gentle and soft and just everything we love about the essence of her character in her original animated film. I feel like that was brought to that movie, but maybe it wouldn't make sense in the Wreck-It Ralph 2, because keep in mind too, this is a comedy. It's like, you know, would Cinderella really necessarily break her slipper and she uses it like as a weapon towards Penelope? It's like, that probably wouldn't happen, and I think some people are a little bit upset about the storyline. But I think you also have to, you know, keep in mind, again, it's like, it is a different movie and it is a comedy, and to just, you know, take everything with a grain of salt in that way. So
yes, you're right. Would she do all of those things? But and if they did keep her looking the way they did in the Sophia the First, it just wouldn't blend with the other. It's like two different art types of, renditions of her, or of them.
Now, I know that you identify with Princess Jasmine the most, and she's your girl. However, there is Pocahontas, and may I just say, Pocahontas looks incredible. Like,
I know, I agree. I think,
like, where did you come from? Like, they are just like, they look amazing. They look gorgeous.
Oh, I do. I love. That is one thing, because Pocahontas, I was surprised actually how much I liked her. It's like, I don't like Jasmine, but I like Pocahontas. You know, like, they just did really well on the like the jawline and capturing that strength.
Yes, exactly, that soft strength. Oh, it was beautiful for me.
Yeah. What about Mulan? Did you happen to see her?
Oh, that's what I said when I just said, it was Pocahontas and Mulan that kind of took me, both by surprise. Was just like, oh my goodness, like look at them, and I loved that.
Now, do you think Mulan actually looks like the cartoon version, or do you think they might have beautified her up a little bit more?
I do think, there's a lot of talk. A lot of people have very strong opinions about how they changed these characters and how they, Merida specifically, they made her what they call, more beautiful, or I'm not sure the words that are being, but just And again, I would say, kind of like going back to what we said earlier, perhaps they did change their look a little bit from the animated feature. I mean, even Rapunzel, although she had, was a digital character, it's like she still has some differences. And it's like, again, I think it's all back to the Wreck-It Ralph theme and keeping in that aesthetic of those characters. But yeah, there's some strong opinions with how they're portraying these the princesses, and a lot of people have strong opinions. So
I agree with Rapunzel because she is a digital, like we've seen how she looks in her movie, and she looks different in Wreck-It Ralph. Something with the nose, it's like they all have that same.
Her eyes aren't as green, if you noticed. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of differences. Some people have really dissected these trailers and things that I didn't even notice until I read comments on other things. Another thing that people are very very attached to and have a lot to say is about the skin tone of the characters. How do you feel about that? And how
yeah, let's talk about that elephant in the room. Tiana, I keep seeing in my Google newsfeed, Tiana this, Tiana that, in regards to Wreck-It Ralph. And I'll be honest, I did kind of notice those differences. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I kind of wish Disney, I feel like they really need to be very, very careful because, again, with Aladdin, there was all that talk about whitewashing the extras and everything. And even with Jasmine being, so they have to really be careful with how they do her. It's like, again, how I was saying how Rapunzel and everybody, it's like they gave them that specific nose. Like even Snow White, I feel like Snow White's nose isn't that pointy in her cartoon, and they made hers like really itty bitty, kind of like who's the girl in Penelope in Wreck-It Ralph. She has that itty bitty nose, and so I feel like they tried to do that a little bit with Tiana too. It's like, no, her nose is a little bit wider. Like leave that there because that is very specific to her look, and you don't want to take that away. And also, yeah, you do kind of, people are going to notice the skin tone, so don't lighten it up. Like, and then even the hair texture, like, I'll be honest, I do kind of think, like, if you showed me her picture, the one where she's lounging around, she does look a bit less dark in that image than she does when she is a princess. And I'll show a screenshot of her in her lounge clothes where she's got her hair curly down. But I don't know, it's kind of like, just be careful, Disney, be careful, because you're going to offend people. So,
well, how I feel about, I'm very moldable, like I said, to the characters being the aesthetic of Wreck-It Ralph too. But when it comes to the skin tone and the authenticity of these characters, that really means a lot to me. And the most exciting thing for me to see the princesses together in a room is to celebrate the diversity in these group of princesses. And that's something to be celebrated. And from the fairest Snow White to the darkest complected Tiana, if you put both of those characters next to each other, there's really not a huge difference in their skin tone. Snow White should be so much more fair. I mean, her story is white as snow. I mean, if you put her next to Rapunzel or any of the other princesses, she has the exact same skin tone. There's no difference at all. No, I was saying Snow White there's no difference in skin tone, or maybe just a little bit next to Ariel or anyone else, where I think they could have still kept with the aesthetic of Wreck-It Ralph too, but yeah, just kept her skin more fair. And the same thing with Pocahontas, Moana, and Tiana. It's like you can still be true to the authenticity of their character, and that's one area where I wish they would have stayed with that. We're only given so little to comment on with these trailers, and they're doing such a good job because, again, it's like a crazy buzz from these small little snippets we're getting of these princesses. So I cannot wait to see the movie. I can't wait to see how much screen time they actually get, what will their dialogue be like, and I can't wait to do another video with you after we've seen it to comment maybe even more on, some of the dialogue they have, how they work the characters into that movie. So I'm so excited to see it.
Alan Britt is also asking, do you think that Disney should continue this trend and even possibly create a princess movie with all of them?
I do really enjoy seeing the princesses together. I don't know how that would work in a movie, like unlike they did something like we said about Sophia the First, where they're not really the main character, they're supporting character to someone else. That's the only way I can really see them weaving in all of the princesses because they are so different. But I mean, leave it to Disney to be the ultimate imagination.
I guess I wouldn't mind seeing more of them collaborate. It would be interesting to see the relationships. How does Jasmine relate to Snow White versus Moana?
Well, of course, they're best friends, so of course she relates to her more.
That's right. That's right. They need to do a Jazz Snow movie. What's up? Yeah. And
because they are always together. I wonder, did you see, I think that they're together a few times in the trailer. Maybe not all the time, but there's a couple times I've seen them next to each other.
So unfortunately something happened with my video that it stopped filming Rachel on my computer, so that's it for Rachel in this video. So I apologize, Val and Britt, if we didn't completely answer your question. I think you had asked something about do we think that the characters were in character or out of character, and I think Rachel kind of touched on that when she was saying about how this movie is a comedy. So if they're not acting completely in character, it's because they're in the Wreck-It Ralph world. And so, you know, are they 100% themselves like they are in their movies? No. But I do think that this movie, like Rachel said, it's a comedy. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. My kids really love Wreck-It Ralph. So I'm really looking forward to us going as a complete whole family to see this movie, because it'll be the first time that my family has gone all together to see a movie in theaters. So that will be so exciting, and I can't wait to do a review of the movie on my channel and let you guys know what I think. So so I hope you guys really liked this video. Please like it if you liked it. Share this video with someone if you think someone else might find it interesting. And please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more Disney related videos. I've got some restaurant reviews coming up, so keep an eye out for those. And I hope you guys have a great week. Bye bye everyone.